Incremental readings. So we have seen the learning curve of SuperMemo. So now with some tips you can use how to flatten this learning curve. It will always be there, but yeah, you're gonna still flatten it a little so it's easier to cope. Don't add many items or topics at once. Don't import whatever you want. Oh, whatever I want to read in SuperMemo, I will import it. Then you will have thousands of elements, but you don't know how to prioritize yet. So it will be really easy to come to a place that, what is this experience? I'm bored, I don't understand it, I'm confused, and I move on. Then, customize your repetition workload. So the common pitfalls is not customizing it. Again, incrementally you will get that. The ratio of topics versus items, how much you follow the priorities, and this can be changed or adapted day-by-day cases. Then, good formulation. Another pitfall, very common, is that they do just a close deletion, a monster close deletion, which an expert will also do right away, but then the expert will iterate and reformulate incrementally, and the person who is in the first or second stage will keep it like that, and it will be super hard to remember, therefore they will forget it, and their experience will be tedious, to the point that you will move on. And not in review sessions, because incremental reading requires consistency. You're gonna skip days, here and there, of course. But there's a minimum, that if you don't do it consistently enough, you're not going anywhere. And think, I know this. I'm thinking, if I know this, means I will remember it forever. Or in other phrasing, that I don't need repetition. I don't need spaced repetition because it's important. Or no, because I have understood this, I will remember it. Because I will logically, this makes sense, the conclusions, I make the conclusion, makes sense, I understand, therefore I will remember it. No, you're not going to remember it most of the time. You remember something. Could be the case that you will remember it without repetition. But 90% or more of the cases, you will eventually forget it. We're human. So the common pitfalls is to have this faith, this belief. So then, because familiarity is not memory, recognition is not recall. Like some people in my neighborhood that I don't know, but based on the exposure that I see this person time to time, is, oh yeah, I do passively recognize this face as a neighbor. So perhaps not even my street, but nearby, one of a few streets away from my neighborhood, right? This is just familiarity, not memory. So if this person moves or I move, I will forget this face. Like when I was living with my parents, I remember the neighbors I speak with or have a relationship with, some of them, not all, but the ones that I was just repeatedly exposed, just familiar with them, no idea, completely forgot. And then, what's the tip then? Always follow the minimum information principle. If you avoid these common pitfalls, you will bypass a lot of struggles that will force you or kind of lead you to give up. That by default is you have close relations, but if you don't have any experience with a spaced repetition, or you do, like in Anki, but you never created your own flashcards, you have used AI, shared decks, or whatever, start with QA items, question and answer, against close relations, because there's nuances, you need some degree of experience to make it right. If you don't, which will be the case, it will lead to hating SuperMemo, the flow, so stick with it. And later on you will go more to close relation. Then, use daily learning journal to reflect on progress. This is what I did while shooting the videos. I recorded my own experience, starting from scratch in SuperMemo, about 40 hours of footage I think I have, which basically is what I did. I did some concepts, a concept I think, and some topics, or even tasks, about what I was not getting, that, okay, I have read the documentation, but I don't get it, or I have this bug, or I know how to do this, or I want to do this in the future, not now, but I don't know if it's even possible. So basically a learning journal about this. Very meta, so about incremental reading and SuperMemo itself. Then you can ask help in the communities. In Reddit, it's quite inactive, or especially in Discord, it's very active. And most of the questions are answered by myself, by the way. Or you can just get tutoring if you want a paid option. It's the best, but it's not free. Then, per SuperMemo with reading, projects, and creative output. That is the key. So don't focus on using SuperMemo and learning how to use SuperMemo itself, like the official documentation and videos, my videos and so on. Have some content for yourself. Can be for health or whatever you do or you like. So something you will read anyways, but you do it on SuperMemo. And then don't focus just on input. It's one of the mistakes I also did. Also focus on output. Can be just writing for yourself, taking notes, or do some, I don't know, respond to some tweets. So don't necessarily the output has to be public. Or could be just talking to your friends or in the family while eating dinner, having dinner or whatever. Doesn't have to be online either. You know what I mean? But something creative. And if it's something that has output that is for you, it's a success. And then be consistent. So imagine two situations. I spend 1 hour today, but tomorrow I'm not going to use it. And next day either. So I spend 2 hours, but it's only on Saturday and Sunday, on the weekend. And during the week, I do nothing. So it's even better that if I only spend 5 minutes a day, 5 plus 7 is 35. So instead of 2 hours, I only spend a little more than half an hour, but it's every single day. So prioritize frequency over quantity. It's better to be more consistent almost every day, but a shorter duration than a long duration, but more discrete, like every few days and so on. You won't see the power of incremental reading. So more or less, this is the premise. It's easy to say, it's not that easy to put it into practice. And this will help you transition through the phases. More or less until the phase number 4. And there's nothing else you can do, because you still require the day-to-day, the trial and error, and experience. The difficulty is there, and remember, the most powerful the method, the harder it will be to master at some extent. So nothing against it. That's all for now. See you incrementally.